Hello guys, today we'll see what Jopa.help is and how it can help us monitor our job applications and how we can install it locally on our laptop or PC with the help of the documentation. So you can also join the waiting list. For today's tutorial, we'll be using the second option where we'll be using the contributing markdown of the GitHub documentation. So this is the URL of the Joba data help application, and basically what it's doing is that he's searching all your emails that you don't have to manually read and see what you got rejected, applied, or successfully get an interview. So let's get right into it. First thing first, we'll need to open the documentation. So here we are. Here we will read the documentation, and basically what we need to make there is clone the repository. So let's clone the repository with this command. Let's make a new folder. Let's call it Jopa.help. And here we can open our CMD or our local terminal. So git clone and the URL. Perfect. So we have here the repository. Now to run this project, we have two options. The first option is to use Docker Compose. That is the most easy one and useful one. So we'll go with that. So what we will need to run Docker? First, because we are on Windows, we need a Linux subsystem. So with the help of the Windows system for Linux, we'll need to install it and make it so the Docker subsystem can contribute to it. So we'll go to this website I will have in the comments. Let's start by installing the WSL on our terminal. It will download Ubuntu for us. And after this is installed, we'll make a restart of our PC. Perfect. As you can see, it's installed. He is showing immediately how the Docker will be integrated to it. So let's get right into it. Okay, perfect. So now we can just download the Docker application. Let's go with that. Docker download to developers. So let's get download for Windows. We're waiting for it to download. Okay, now our installation finished, so we'll click to start the installation wizard. So because I have already Docker, let's replace it. We are seeing that is enabled. Perfect. So we'll double check that. As you can see, LWS2 is enabled. So now what we are doing, let's go back to the documentation. Here we are. So we'll enable WSL, we'll clone the repository. We will skip that for the moment, and what we'll need for the application to run is to give it access to our Gmail account. So let's start by creating ourselves a Google Cloud Console. So we can create so think first thing first, let's put this on the right and let's have this on the left. So we created our Google account, Google Cloud Console account. So we are going into APIs and services, and then we'll go to the credentials, and here we will need to create first our first account, our first user. So we'll need first, before creating our credentials, to create our auth consent script. So let's get started with that. We'll need to tell what we will do. Let's put our application will be Jopa.help, something our supporting mail. Next, audit will be external, will not come with from our organization. Here we can put our email. Next and finish. Perfect. Now that we create our out consent script, we'll need to put as our users. Put our user here. Save. Perfect. So we have our user. So now you can just go back into APIs, credentials again. Here on the app we can see the credentials. OAuth client ID, and here we can put web application. This is the web application we'll be doing. Here let's put whatever name we want. Let's put Jopa.help, And here, what will we be doing? We want to put what URLs will be available to use our services. This is very important. So we'll putting the production domain of the application, the Jopa seeker, and also we'll be doing the development application we'll be having to have access to our Gmail APIs. So this is very important. We'll be have to copy these two codes and save them in our application. So for now, I'll be using VS Code in this tutorial. So we're opening VS Code for this repository. Yes, so let's start by saving our variables. So we can go making a terminal here, so we have everything. So what we can do, it's here copy from the documentation and see there's a script here. Let's go to the contribution. So when you go down, you can see set up environment variables. So we will do that here. And let's copy that. Okay, so our client ID will be going on the client ID, and also our client secret will be going on the API key. Here we can leave it like that because some random string. Save it and leave it for later. So this is also done on that. This is our credential that we'll need it later, so leave it on the downloads. Perfect. So now we connected everything, and now we will need to enable our services. So we're going to libraries to find the APIs. Let's search for Gmail API. Here we are. We'll need to enable it. And now we have just enabled the API. Now we need to add some permissions we can make. So we can enable some permissions. So we can use it. So on the auth screen secret, auth screen, go then to the data access, and then we'll need to add or remove scopes. Here we will first enable auth from our email, so Google account, and then we will go, let's save that first, update, here we are, and also we will need to enable some from the Gmail API, that it's to here, it's the sixth one, auth gmail.read-only. Perfect. So let's update that. So you can see we have here this Gmail permission, Here the Gmail primary Gmail accessing email address permission. Perfect. Finally, we are okay with all the configuration we'll need to make on our Gmail Google account. Last thing we'll need to do, here the file that just downloaded, let's rename it to, let's see our documentations. So we created our test user, created our out client ID, created the web applications, put our URIs so we can safely reach out to it, copy our client ID to the env file. Now we need to rename this file to credentials.json, and we copy that and go to our repository we install and go to the backend file and paste that here. So we also add our scopes in the data access, just showing the images. Here we're perfect, so update save. We also update our variables here and rename our Gmail APIs like here. So what we'll need now is to go with the option one with the Docker Compose file. So let's open a new terminal to the application we're going to build. So we'll need to be sure that our Docker is enabled and open for this to work. And we did all these steps below. And so we'll go to our terminal or open a new one and make a Docker Compose. Here we see, oh yes, we need also to make the same copy for the env of the so just or copy paste and remake it to env, or go with the terminal option front end. Yeah, because not example is sample. Perfect. So we have it here. So next we will need make the Docker Compose. So now he's pulling the DB that let's ask his building to discuss how the Docker Compose is using. So we're using a Postgres database that you could be available on the port 5433, and inside the container the inside port for the other application to use is the 5432. So here we're using Postgres with image tag 13, some configurations, and then we'll be trying to build the other two components, the back and the front end. So now we're pulling the image, and after this is done, we'll come back to see how our application will be up and running. Also, we can see here on the Docker desktop that our images is being pulled. So we have the Postgres here, and the container we will finish will be shown here. So also something interested is that how the application will be taken and see what emails will be related to our jobs is if you go to the backend email query filters, you can easily see here what they're trying to find. So they're doing a filtering based on some keywords filtering, and also excluding some subject filtering. So we'll be waiting then for the build to finish. Perfect. So where are we waiting for the build to finish? Last thing that will help to our development is to how we can interact with our databases. So the easiest and more uh, easiest ways is you can download the original PG admin installation, or you can go to the more universal and open source approach, the DBeaver. So we'll go with that. So we'll download our Windows installation. Okay, let's agree. For me, let's, because I don't have the SQL file installed, so let's associate that with DBeaver. We don't have something previously, so you can uncheck this and continue if you have some SQL already, MySQL connection. So we'll import this next, then go to key installation. Perfect. So let's do DBeaver, open the application. Now we'll need to create a connection to our databases. Let's see. Perfect. Now we can see that our build is created. We can see the logs of our databases. Everything is going smoothly. So our database was created. Our backend is startup and completed. And our frontend is running on the port 3000. Okay. Now, no, we don't want to create a sample database. Okay, so perfect. So we'll need to create first a connection. So we'll or click that or click this to go with Postgres. Next, here we'll need to see our credentials. So the credential localhost, our port is 433. So for database, let's put our application name, username Postgres, password is Postgres again, and let's test the connection. Everything is going smoothly. No, so what we're missing now, we'll need to download the Postgres drivers. So let's do that. Perfect. Okay. So now we can see that our connection is working perfectly. Let's finish. And as you can see, we can see our databases here. When we expand it, we can use the schemas and also our tables with users and so on. So let's go to let's go back to our application. Now we can see our front end from here. It's basically it's local host. Perfect. It's open from Google Chrome. It's more easy to use. So let's test our application. Now we're just like with the Jopa site, but so now we're the Jopa.help, and we'll need to log in with Google. Internal server. Let's see what happened. Yes, we are missing credentials.json. So we put .json.json for some reason. We'll need to start again our build. So see you soon. Or with Control C or opening a new terminal, we'll stopping the build. So just stopped. Let's create a new terminal and go. Let's do again Docker Compose up. Perfect. Let the backend DB initialize. Perfect. So let's go again. Let's go with the front end. Login. Perfect. So we can see our prompt. If here was something with the credential wrong, we will be getting an error. So let's sign in with our Gmail. No, continue. We can give access to our application. Continue. Make it so he can view our messages. So she can give insights. Continue. Perfect. Let's put where we'll start job searching so she can filter from that day. So he will be working for us. Perfect. So he searched our email for 3 emails and then just put it for testing. And because it's not something you can search for company, you can say that I am the sender, and because it's not something we can, is the application deadline. So we can download our CV and make statistics furthermore if you want, and see how much you can apply it based on the company and so on. Or you can download sample diagram. So this is for me. This is the Jopa help initializing period. I hope you are with me, and it was a wonderful journey how to set up with Jopa.help and how this tool can be a very awesome tool that is growing per day. Happy to be with you.